Assalamu alaikum students, I hope you must be doing great. Today's topic is laws of indices. So there are 6 laws of indices. The first one is multiplying indices. This law says when multiplying indices with the same base add the powers, means when there are two numbers in index form, a raised to power m and a raised to power n, and we multiply these numbers, these both index form numbers, then their powers will be added. For example, there are two numbers 4a cube and 2a square. When we multiply these numbers, their coefficients means 4 and 2 will be multiplied and the result will be 8, where their indices forms a raised to power 3 and a raised to power 2 will be multiplied in such a way that the powers 3 and 2 will be added and the answer will be 8a raised to power 5. The second law is dividing indices for division of indices. Here indices means index forms. The law says when dividing indices with the same base, subtract the powers. A raised to power m divided by a raised to power n. So it means here is a number a whose power is m and n. When they will be divided, their powers means m and n will be subtracted. N will be subtracted from m. Let's see the example. In example we have two numbers or two terms, 4a cube which is divided by 2a square. Here 4 will be directly divided by 2. 2 2s are 4. Its quotient will be 2, and a cube will be divided by a square. So 3 minus 2. Their powers will be subtracted. Okay, so the answer will be 2a because a's power will be 1. So we don't need to write the power when it is 1. Now the third law is brackets with indices. It means when we have brackets on indices. Okay, when there is a power outside the bracket, multiply the powers. Here is a term a raised to power m. It is the index form, and again we have a power on it, n. The term itself is an index form, a raised to power m, and its power, again the power is n, means there are two powers. One is inside the bracket and one is outside the bracket. So the two powers m and n will be multiplied and then result will be found. The example is 4 raised to power 2, and again its power is 3. 4 is the base, 2 is the index, and then again there is an index or power, that is 3. So these two powers 2 and 3 will be multiplied and the resultant will be found. 4 is the base, 2 will be multiplied with 3, it will be the total power, means 6. 4's power is 6. So this was the law for brackets with indices. When we will be having brackets with indices, then we will find the answer in this way. Now the fourth law is negative indices. It says when the index is negative, put it over 1 and flip to make it positive. Means we have to convert the negative power to the positive one by taking its fraction form. So here the term will be used a raised to power minus m, and it will be equal to 1 divided by a raised to power positive m. And the example is 4 raised to power minus 5. When we will convert this minus 5 into positive 5, then the answer will be 1 divided by 4 raised to power 5. Now the next law is power of 0. Any non-zero value raised to the power of 0 is equal to 1. Means whatever the number will be, let it be 2000 or 2 million, whenever its power will be 0, the answer will always be equal to 1. but it should be non-zero number. Okay, because if the number will be 0, then how many times you multiply, it doesn't matter, answer will always be 0. But when the power of any non-negative non-zero number will be 0, then the answer will be 1. Now the last law is fractional indices. Here we have the two index forms in fraction. The law says when the index is a fraction, the denominator is the root of the number or letter, and then raise the answer to the power of the numerator. Let's understand it by an example. Let me clean the board first. Okay. By this law, what we understand is that when we have a number or term in index form, means x is a coefficient, x is a base, and its power is a divided by b, means the power is in fraction. So there's a particular way to write this index form, and that method is that base will be written in square root form actually. Base will go in this root, okay, and the power will be its denominator, means b, root will be the denominator, and the power will be numerator, that is a. Let's do it with an example. The example is this one: 4 raised to power 3 divided by 2, 3 upon 2. Fraction is 3 upon 2. 4 raised to power 3 upon 2, it will be written as like this: 4 will under the root, and the root will be 2 because it is denominator, and its whole power will be the numerator, that is 3. I hope you must have understand this laws of indices, and if you have any query, then kindly tell me in the comment section. I will resolve it inshallah. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.